Hey guys, welcome back to another episode on the KICKABoUT podcast. We just wanted to thank all of you for the incredible support you've been showing us over the past three videos. We never expected so many of you to like it. So please keep supporting and keep enjoying our videos. Right, as for today, we have a special guest with us, another guest for you guys here on the show. And he's an Arsenal fan, so I'll let him go ahead and introduce himself.
Oh, hello guys, I'm Saad and I've been an Arsenal fan for about 7 years and a bit contradictory, but I was a Chelsea fan before this because
Oh,
I used to be a huge fan of Pericek in goal and I'm a goalkeeper as well. So I followed him wherever he went, but I'm not going to follow him back to Chelsea now because he's just a technical director. So yeah, I've been really loyal, watch every match even if it's 3:30 in the morning. Yeah, that's pretty much me
Right, you live in
every week.
Australia, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's why the 3 a.m.
Yeah, that's why the three.
yeah, it's your boy Tejas. Good to be back after a rather interesting week of football, especially for Mr. Dev Thakkar.
Back to United ways. 1-0 loss after coming from that Leipzig match. All United fans are thinking, yeah, this is United. We are back. And then we lose to Arsenal at Old Trafford, 1-0 with a penalty from Aubameyang.
Welcome to the Barca club of inconsistency, man. Good to have you here.
No, but the
that
game
was-
was pretty
Glad
good,
it
actually.
wasn't Bruno Fernandes.
No, but the game was pretty
Yeah.
good in general, is what I felt.
It was good, but United, I don't think the diamond formation would work against Arsenal. Because they played diamond against Leipzig. And Leipzig are a team which have pacey centre backs and they play a very high line. Unlike Arsenal, who have 8 people defending in the box.
Oh, that was just the final few minutes. We subbed on Mustafi.
So
No, but
I don't
let's
think.
put the question to Sar. What do you make of the game last night?
Oh, it was a really amazing game to watch. I mean, I enjoyed every minute of it. I thought we played brilliant. There was no player that was like under par. Everyone was really good, and yeah, just consistent performances yesterday.
But it's such an Arsenal performance, to be honest, to set up with two CDMs and a well-organized backline and win on penalties. You've done that to Liverpool twice now. You've done that to Man United once.
The thing with the Leicester and Man City game, we had four at the back, so we didn't play the wing back game. So I think that's why we kind of was just in a defensive mode. We didn't attack as much. But yeah, it's pretty much.
That's pretty interesting that you bring up the last two defeats. So you lost 1-0 to Leicester and 1-0 to Man City as well. I heard Arteta speak last night after the game saying he should have got some points away from the Etihad, which is probably a fair shout if, say, Saka takes his chances, Aubameyang takes his chances, so on. But what did you see change from the Leicester game to this game in particular?
Oh, I saw a huge improvement. There were some big substitutes like Thomas Partey come in, Mohamed Elneny, who performed like really extraordinarily well. And if you see him last season, he was an outspell at Berkshire, I think, or I don't know where he was. And to bring him back on and just give him the motivation to stay at the club, even though there's so many players, it's just amazing. And that's what Arteta is doing. He's rebuilding every day. And we still haven't reached the top, but one day we'll reach the top.
Well, that's definitely true. There's some promising signs out there at Arsenal. But what really went wrong? Ole started with his favorite Mexican sandwich and Fred. So where were the points?
McTominay and Fred had been playing very consistently the past few games, but Fred, this match, in fact, he didn't turn up like he did against in the Champions League. But again, as I said, the diamond formation wouldn't work. We had no width in this game, could not penetrate through Arsenal. We needed width in this game. So I think playing Mata or playing Van de Beek also would have worked. And I think Pogba has to be sold, shouldn't be started, and he would be good as an impact sub only.
Impact sub.
Pogba
Strong
should be
words
sold.
from you.
That's a hot take. But do you think the team plays better without him?
Yeah, we do play better without him. I think Donny can be a replacement for Pogba, like hopefully, because like when Donny came also on the pitch, you could see we were attacking more in the second half than what we did in the first half. And even though with Arsenal's press, I think we managed that better with Donny on the pitch.
I mean,
I
it's,
have one.
yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
Dave, do you think Luke Shaw is viable in that left back position? You feel he
Luke Shaw was
contributes
one of the
much?
few good players last match. And
I think the
Uh,
only reason you can say he's good was because of the amount of crosses he was putting through. But I don't
yeah,
think he really was tracking back as often. But yeah, he just put in a lot of crosses yesterday, which
I
we
mean,
cleared. Yeah.
yeah, putting in crosses is a good thing, but if there's no end result to it, it's all for nothing then. It's kind
No,
of like
but
how Trent
honestly,
plays half the time, just continuously whipping balls in, and nothing keeps happening.
well, this season he's been a
True.
shocker for FPL managers, no doubt.
oh, I've had him since game week 1. He's only got me 2 points every week. Time to
I
remove
put him
him.
this week being like, oh no, he's going to do a madness. And then nothing he does.
Uh,
Jack shit. Jack shit.
big madness, brother. No, but boys, now that you've been talking about how there was no width in the field for Man United, so the only reason for that, the only place you can actually point fingers for the points you're bringing up, is the manager.
The manager.
The manager, because
Players
if you think about
aren't
it,
putting.
Arteta and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer somewhat started their journeys in similar positions. And Arteta, this is Arsenal's first away win, by the way, in almost 6 years. January 2015.
No, 40. Oh, yes. Win
I
in,
like how
not first away
we
win, it was like top six.
Yeah, against the
I
top
like how
six.
we brought up that fact last week and then suddenly they'll be like, oh, improvement.
They've been listening to a podcast, man.
Yeah.
Maybe.
No, but Dave, do you think it's time for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to answer some serious questions?
Whatever he answers, like if you watch every press conference, he does the exact opposite. Like he's been saying he's going to play Donny, Pogba, and Bruno on the pitch at the same time, but he hasn't done that once. Defensive also, he played Tuanzebe for that one match. Tuanzebe did amazing, and he ends up not playing any other match after that. I mean, Ole has to make some proper changes to the lineup. Playing a diamond, like again, I'm repeating this. Playing the diamond against Leipzig and Arsenal is not going to work again. So
No, but I think
the
what's
players
important
also have to
also,
put in more.
the diamond against Leipzig had Matic, Fred, Pogba, and Bruno. The diamond against Arsenal had Fred, McTominay, Bruno, and Pogba.
Uh,
Interesting.
I mean, Matic, like when Matic came on the pitch, he did try to, control the midfield, which was not happening in the first half. Thomas Partey was controlling the game in the first half. But I honestly don't know what Ole can even do because the players aren't performing up to their level best. So,
Oh, boys, we just got the unlimited extension. Let's go.
You
No,
believe
but,
we get it.
you brought up Thomas Partey there. That's an interesting take. Sarth, I want to ask you. So, 45 million pounds, deadline day. You get this amazing 27-year-old midfielder who can do a little bit of everything. I think the first couple of results when he played didn't really go your way, but he completely schooled Pogba yesterday. Bossed that midfield, in my opinion. What do you think?
Yeah. Yeah, he completely bossed it. And I think, to be honest, Pogba, I think he's worth 90 million. But right now, I think we got Thomas Partey for a bargain. I think he's worth 120, 100 million easy. But I think it's a huge, huge bargain that we got. And that too on deadline day with all the COVID-19 impacts. And yeah, and his performance has been like really good yesterday. It was like top class, world class performance from him yesterday. He lost the ball and then he gets it back and constant pressure. And I think that's what Mikel tries to do. I think he tries to pressure the opponents as much as he can and then get the ball and then play long balls, short passes. He has a lot of Pep Guardiola in him.
Right, that's pretty interesting. But what do you think is his role, like predominantly? Where do you think he'll play under Arteta?
I think he'll play in the center defensive midfield or maybe center mid. I think that's his main positions because he controls the midfield and he just needs a little bit of help. Otherwise, I think if he's alone, he still can do a lot.
That's a pretty good take. Tejas, I want to ask you this. Do you think Mesut Ozil is going to make a comeback into the Premier League squad in January?
Uh, I mean, at the moment, the only service he's doing to the club is paying their mascot salaries. So I don't think so. No. But I think if they go through an injury crisis, they probably will have to bring him on. That's the only way I can see him coming back. But otherwise, no.
But they do have an abundance of midfielders.
Yeah, exactly. So only if it's a serious injury crisis in midfield, I really don't see him coming at all. It's sad to say that, but yeah.
If you see the last two games against Leicester and Man City, we were craving for creativity, but we didn't have that in us. And that was a time when all the fans were like, we need Mesut in our team. There's no creativity. He's a great player. We need the final pass. And that's not happening.
But even when he was a regular starter for your team, the key problem with him was he would never stay at that same peak. He would be few matches like this, then suddenly he just stumps so low. But whenever he was at his peak, that was a masterclass. Yeah. He was too good.
No, I think there's another issue with this. That is that whatever Mikel Arteta does, whatever tactics he wants to implement, if he gets the results for it, then people won't really question. For about a year, 6 months, Mesut Ozil wasn't part of the team, but you were winning games. So nobody is going to question him on his tactic then. As soon as things go south, then all of a sudden, AFTV starting with Robbie and DT and Troop, and all of them, where's Mesut Ozil? So I think it's a lot to do with like putting faith in the manager too, in the bad times.
It's always about putting faith in the manager, no matter what the situation is.
Yes, Ole out.
No, I'm telling you, now he'll face the sack and you'll see the teams suddenly will start performing just to keep him. You wait.
Always happens.
This team doesn't look like they're winning anything this season again.
No, but the points table is shocking at this moment. They're, I think, 14th. 7 points from 15.
6 games, yeah.
7 points from 6 games. For all your adventures in Europe, do you think the Premier League is posing a different challenge, or do you think it's just about the inconsistency?
It's about the inconsistency. We could have won against Arsenal, but I don't know.
No, I think we dominated the whole game. Yeah.
I mean, second half, not really. I think we had an upper edge in the second half. But this is United. We go 1-0 down, and then in the second half, we just push everyone up forward, but nothing ends up happening. I think Donny hit the post also in the second half of deflection from a defender. But
something along those lines. But I know we have to move on to other topics, but just before we move on, I think there's one thing I want to bring up, that is that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, while making substitutions, had smoked different kind of weed yesterday. He brought on Matic and he took off Bruno. Bruno is the one player who took you from fucking relegation battles to top 3 contenders. And he takes him on to bring another McChicken-like player. To do what? I do not know.
No. He brought off Fred for Matic and he brought in Van de Beek for Bruno. But I don't know why he's removed Bruno over there, because he's a most creative player. He can make those passes.
But I think yesterday he was not that creative. I think he was really not as good as he is. And
but
yesterday I just felt he switched off. Yeah. But when Van de Beek came on, he looked really sharp on the ball, and then he had a few shots. Yeah.
But I think the reason he was silent, you got to give a lot of credit here to Mikel Arteta. He did man-to-man pressing, marking. Yep. He essentially marked Pogba and Bruno out of the game completely. El Neni and
Partey. Arsenal was unreal yesterday. You could see, like, when Greenwood had the ball, the press on him was so bad because they didn't give him any space. Magalhaes and Holding especially also, they just didn't give any space to our attackers.
It's definitely Gabriel Magalhaes has been some player, dude.
I mean, if you see our defense last 2 years, and it was just, we were compared against, I don't know, like bottom relegation club defenses, and now we're like climbing on top, and yeah, that's a big improvement. Huge signings this summer.
Definitely. One last question to you. Do you think Saliba is going to make his place in the Arsenal squad, or is he flying out to some other country for loan?
I really think he's gonna get loaned out because I think the only reason he didn't go on loan was because Arteta thought Pablo Mari was gonna stay in and not get injured, but I think he got injured again, so that's why Saliba is still staying. So he was unsure if Pablo Mari was gonna stay injured or is he gonna come back. So yeah, he
Right.
thought Pablo Mari's he said Pablo Mari, if he's not injured, which he was till the deadline day, so he thought let's keep Saliba then. So they didn't get a loan deal.
Right. That's a pretty good answer. So while we're in North London, boys, I think it's our obligation to go to the other side of town and talk about Tottenham Hotspur.
Same side of town.
Wait, so let me ask Dev first. Right. Big rivalry, the second in the table now after that win against Brighton. What have you made of their start to the season? I know we haven't spoken in depth, but what do you think of their season till now?
I mean, they have been really good this season. I mean, especially Kane and Son. But Gareth Bale also turned up against Brighton. But one thing I want to say is Sergio Reguilon has been pivotal to their start. He's been really good at left back, and he's been putting in those crosses. He's been coming up, tracking back, playing very well. And I think that was a very good signing from Jose. He doesn't like being called Jose.
It's Argentinian, don't say Jose.
But that's a pretty good take, dude, to be honest. Pretty under the radar player also.
Yeah. And I think Matt Doherty hasn't been at Reguilon's level. I think Aurier would be Aurier would play better at right back than Doherty.
That is somewhat. I think Doherty's stamina has been so piss poor, at least at the beginning of the season, because he was playing only wing back at Wolves. And like the question of tracking back, there used to be like Connor Cody, Willy Bolly, and all those players. And now Jose is like, where are you going to track back? He's like, I'm out of breath, buddy.
Yeah. Stamina, man. Like Ishan, we trust Ishan cardio. He's the expert.
Sure. But Tejas, you saw the Brighton game last night. They won 2-1. Gareth Bale.
Gareth Bale with the
impact.
cushioned header. I don't know, Brighton's defense, that cross, they just left Gareth Bale. Gareth Bale was literally just like this. And the ball just comes perfectly to him, boom.
Brighton's defense was acting like United's defense.
I know. Speaking of defense,
was screaming at United's defense that day.
Speaking of defense,
I saw that.
Spurs' defense should not be left off the hook. Besides Reguilon, I don't know, their defense, at the wrong time they decide to switch up, like that Lamperty goal, Roddy Rich. Just randomly takes so much space is given to him at that flank. He takes such a good shot in and it goes in. So now I have one question here. Do you guys think that Hugo Lloris is overrated or is he underrated? What is it?
I never
Definitely
rated Hugo Lloris
overrated.
as anything. I always thought he was a bang average keeper.
Yeah, average.
Do you think it's just because he was associated, because he was part of that World Cup winning team and the team that got to the Euros, the finals, that he's put on such a high pedestal by most people? Do you think that's the reason, or just his innate ability is the reason for it?
The thing with Hugo Lloris is he makes good saves when it matters. So I've seen him have an absolute shocker of a night against Huddersfield Town and then come back and save a penalty of Kun Aguero in the Champions League. So I feel it's not so much the consistency of the man, but the fact that he turns up when it matters most times. So I think that is what it is.
But you don't want a keeper to do that. You wouldn't mind if an attacker does that, but you don't want a keeper to
Yeah, I
turn up
don't
at the
rate
big
him that
games.
highly. I don't think his distribution is that good.
It
Somewhat
isn't
okay.
that great.
Yeah, just like I don't know, David De Gea. Okay, I'm probably gonna get stick from United.
David De Gea has good distribution.
I'll give
So,
you that though. Last
so
couple of years.
Sarth, should Arsenal be scared of Spurs this season?
No, I don't think so. They're just
Oh.
way under us, way below us. I think they still have a lot to improve, and I think that's clearly seen. They're not consistent, and neither are we. But we've played top clubs like Leicester, Man City, and they haven't played top clubs yet. So you can't really compare them. But right now, I would say we're still on top, even though we have more losses than them.
I just want to put it on record. Sarth said they haven't played any big clubs. He doesn't consider Man United to be a big club. Bang! I said it.
Yeah, not this season.
No,
I
but
would consider United a big club as well.
Sarth, though, what do you think of the battle between Aubameyang and Harry Kane? Whom do you rate higher on like a striking ability purely, not the fact that one plays for your club and one plays for your rival, but just an ability?
In finishing wise, Harry Kane's like really consistent, but in like passing wise, skills and everything, I think Aubameyang's better. But right now, I think on top it's Harry Kane. Even though I'm Arsenal fan, I'm saying that it's Harry Kane, who's currently better than Aubameyang.
Yeah, that's
Right.
That's true.
That's pretty tidy. So Tejas, what's the next game we want to review?
I think you were very keen to talk about City's performances as of late, especially defensively.
I think all these years I've heard pundits say City's got a great attack. They'll always outscore the opposition. Their defense is a worry. For the first time in like 6-7 years, I feel like the defense is on point and the attack has gone to sleep. It's gone to sleep a big time because we've conceded one goal in the last 5 games. After that Leicester loss, but we've scored 9 goals in that same duration. Now that is some piss poor shit. We used to score 9 in a game once upon a time.
Yeah.
But I still believe Pep Guardiola's time is done out, and I feel like it's time to get a new manager. However, I wish him all the best for this season. One player in particular that I wanted to talk about is Kyle Walker, who scored against Sheffield United the other day. Now, I want to know from you guys, where do you rank Kyle Walker based on his complete game at right back, at least in the Prem, leave alone Europe?
I think I would put him as. I don't know. I'm confused. I'm conflicted whether to put him above Van, because I do enjoy watching Wan-Bissaka play, and I think he's a phenomenal right back. But I don't know what. I think Kyle Walker is balanced. He's a balanced right back. Like, he has the attacking potential. He has that potency in attack, but defensively also he's ever present defensively as well. Whereas Wan-Bissaka is defensive, top class, but when it comes to creating chances, moving up the play, Wan-Bissaka is a bit shaky. That's just my opinion. So I will put Walker over him just for now.
True.
Just for now. I know Dave's smiling at me and he's going to beat me up later, but I'm just
I
putting my
would rate
opinion.
Wan-Bissaka over Walker.
That's a fair point of view, actually.
I think Walker has only pace, and he abuses that pace so much that he can go front, track back. But Wan-Bissaka has that defensive ability, which I don't think any right back in the Prem has.
Sort of agree with that. Yeah.
I have a feeling
defensiveness.
Sarth is going to come in here and bring up a case for Hector Bellerin very soon.
Hector, I was going to say that.
Hector Bellerin.
I think Bellerin's still better than Wan-Bissaka. Really.
Oh, that's...
I really think, yes.
Which part of his game, though?
I think he's changed a lot. Like, if he had a major injury, and then after coming back from the injury, he's changed a lot under Mikel, especially. I mean, under Unai Emery, I think nothing went to plan. But under Mikel, like, he improved his game a lot. He's he loves his wing back position. I think going forward, coming back, not coming too much back, not going too forward. I think he's putting up some crucial crosses in to Aubameyang to play Aubameyang and Lacazette. I think he's playing a major role in that.
I mean, that's a fair shout. I still believe. I feel like the thing with Walker is he's not the most technically gifted footballers, but now that he's spent like almost
Definitely
4 or 5 seasons under Pep, this season in particular, his understanding of which spaces are open when you leave that much space in behind when you're trying to play attacking, and the way to close that space down, I think there's something about him this season that he's completely understood what he has to do, and he's almost been a rock. So Van Bissaka to me is one-on-one the best right back on the planet, no doubt. One-on-one, especially outside the box, his legs are longer than anything I've seen before. He'll take the ball off your feet, but his attacking output to me has been. I don't think Ole has given him the license to attack, to be put simply, because I remember when they played Man City at home or away, wherever it was, and there was this dribble which he did, and it left like 4 people like behind him. He took it all the way through the heart of the defense, and I was like, this guy can dribble, but I think it's more to do with his position in the team. Looking at it, I think I do not know what goes on in Ole's mind, but the fact that he can defend so well, Ole doesn't really channel a lot of the attacking prowess through the right-hand channel.
Yeah, I think Ole focuses a bit on the left because you don't see crosses whipping in from the right. You only see crosses whipping in from the left.
Yeah,
That's what I was trying to say on the attacking. He doesn't really contribute as much, but defensively, oof, man is
Too good.
man's
I know.
class at defense. You cannot deny that.
But boys, one last question while we're on this topic. At this moment in time, Man City is lacking both their senior striking options, both out through injury, Sergio Aguero and Gabriel Jesus. Do you think if this was the case with Liverpool's striking options or United striking options, those teams would struggle, or would they be able to grind out results the way City have over the past few weeks?
I think United would struggle. And what was the other team that you said?
United,
Liverpool.
Liverpool, even Arsenal to some
Liverpool.
degree. If Aubameyang gets an injury, do you think you're going to struggle, or do you think you're going to grind out results?
For
I think
Liverpool,
we're surely gonna struggle. Arsenal will struggle without Aubameyang, but we might be getting draws, but not wins definitely because we need him. He's our star
in
striker.
Liverpool's case, I don't see them struggling this season, given who they have. They have Diego Jota, they have Mr. Japan. Which other attacker do they have?
He looks like Sunio
They
from
have
Doraemon.
Shaqiri, yeah. And
Minamino,
I think that
Jota.
one match where all three of them came on, they were surprisingly extremely good together, those three. So, I mean, see, Bobby Firmino, even if he plays, he never scores.
I think Bobby Firmino should play centre back.
I think so. That's a good way to transition into our next topic, which is Liverpool, essentially. So I want to ask Tejas this: Van Dijk out through injury, Fabinho out through a hamstring pull, and yet they haven't drawn. They've won. They've grinded out results very well against Midgetland, against West Ham United, and against the team they played, Sheffield United. So what do you make of Liverpool as a team now?
Dude, they won that match, but Joe Gomez, that was such a terrible clearance by him. Honestly, I think Klopp is probably still worried that Joe Gomez is probably the only proper centre back they have.
And he also doesn't play very well.
Yeah, exactly. I think Joe Gomez is a centre back who needs a partner to play off, and it doesn't exactly.
I do not know if you guys know this, but sorry to interrupt you 1 second. On the night, I think, I don't know what his first name is, but they played this defender called Phillips. He won.
Yeah, Nathan Phillips.
He won man of the match playing alongside Joe Gomez.
He won man of the match?
Yes, he did.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he did.
So I think that Joe Gomez gives Klopp a lot of nightmares, but the fact that they're still grinding out results doesn't put as much, say, doesn't put those mistakes into the sort of limelight that we're trying to bring those mistakes here. But I think their attack deserves a lot of credit. A lot.
Oh, without that they have a superb attack with
Yeah, powerful.
Salah winning the penalties when he really needs to. They're going to win a penalty.
Salah's dive. That wasn't a penalty. I don't feel it was. I don't know about you guys, but I
Yeah,
felt
same,
Salah
same. I
touched
didn't
the.
feel that was a penalty.
See, man,
Yeah,
any form of contact in the box, you're gonna have to fall down. See, you have to milk it.
we are again smoking some different kind of weed.
Scott Lee.
But then big Diego Jota then turned up,
Oh,
and I technically scored 2 goals, or 1 goal was ruled an offside, but he scored the winner.
he's
So
been
he deserves.
some signing, an amazing signing.
Yeah,
I'd
he's
even
been
go as
really
far as to say, leading up to the Christmas break, the man has scored so many winners. He will probably be the best transfer off the window. Nobody else. The number of times he's come off the bench, or even when he was in the starting 11, if you look at the number of winning goals to his names, I think he's got 3 already. And that is some achievement, dude. Coming off the Wolves bench to the Champions team, I think a lot of people need to give him some real praise.
Yeah, and even Shaqiri provided the beautiful pass to Jota
Yeah.
for him to finish that goal.
All these players spend so much time on the Liverpool bench, to be honest, because of like the front three.
Yeah.
But I think one player we need to talk about here, considering we have an Arsenal fan in the show, is the man who made the best chess move I have seen. And when this transfer happened, I did not know what the point behind it was, because Liverpool and Arsenal finished like so similar that season. I was like, what's the point of him moving? I'm talking about Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, who won a Champions League, a Premier League by switching clubs. Sarth, do you have anything to say about him?
Yeah, I think he had his time at Arsenal. I think it was done for him. We had like a really bad run with Arsene Wenger, and I think it was a time for him to leave. And if I'm not wrong, he left the game after we lost to Liverpool 4-0 at Anfield.
I think so.
Yeah, yes, and yeah, I remember the jersey, the most unluckiest jersey, the blue one that we wore, and yeah, I just remember that day. And I think it was good for him to move on. I think he's a great player. He really is.
Damn, it looks like I've opened some old wounds. Boys, City is playing Liverpool at the Etihad this Sunday. This is essentially a 6-point game, because if Liverpool win this, they'll open a 5-point gap at the top. I want to know, who do you think is going to win? Tate is starting with you.
Okay. City, your attack has been, I won't say shite, absent. Let's just say that. I'll say absent. So I will gift it to Liverpool, but then this Kyle Walker can come and score in a banger, some major upset, and then VAR can screw over everyone. So I will give it to Liverpool. They're currently the better team.
Dave, what about you?
I think it's going to be a draw.
He can't side with any team. He can't side with any team.
No, I really think it's going to be a draw, because Man City's attack has been lacking, and Liverpool's defensive output hasn't been the best.
Interesting take.
So I feel it's going to be a draw.
Sarth, what about you?
Yeah, draw as well. I think same thing. They don't have an attack, Man City, and Liverpool don't have a solid defense at the back. So yeah, I think I'm gonna go with like 1-1 or 0-0 maybe.
Interesting. I have a feeling. So like, on an honest note, I feel like City will scrape through with a 1 or a 2 goal, say, a cushion. The reason being, in all these years we've played Liverpool, the thing that's hurt us most is when we haven't taken our chances and when they've come back and scored. But this season, I feel like our defense will be up to their attack. They'll still score, but our defense would be more solid. And the fact that there's Joe Gomez in the back line, I have a feeling even Tejas might be able to score a few goals. So who is Raheem Sterling? So I feel like City will win. The last 3 times Liverpool have come to the Etihad in the Prem, they've been spanked 5-0, 4-0, 2-1. The one time they came for the Champions League, they did win 3-1 though. But this is the Premier League.
Who do you think should be City's front three for the Liverpool game?
Interesting take. I feel it should be Phil Foden, Ferran Torres, and Raheem Sterling. If I see Mahrez anywhere near that team sheet, I'm gonna slap both his cheeks.
Apparently, his teammates have been blasting him for his lack of passing.
He's an Algerian fucking fraud, man. That's what he is, dude. He's terrible. He's a one skill player, and he's good when the skill works. When it doesn't work, he doesn't pass because his whole game is take the ball.
He's
run,
just trying to cut in. Yeah.
Exactly. And
Every time.
Yeah.
he slows the play down big time for me. Not his biggest fan.
Fair point.
But talking about biggest fans, my favorite player Kepa Arrizabalaga wasn't playing. Because of which Chelsea have won 3-0 on the night. Yeah, 3-0 against
3-0.
Burnley.
Habibi Ziyech. Oh, that fellow, man. Man turned up big time. That was
I think
a sublime performance.
definitely it was bang average performances they were putting in before the beginning of the season. But I think ever since Edward Mendy has come in, that team looks different, dude. No denying
But
that.
they've kept 5 clean sheets now with Mendy.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think Petacek is the only one before that to keep 5 clean sheets in the first 6 games for Chelsea. Yeah.
Who would have thought clean
Um,
sheets and Chelsea go together, man?
Yeah, I brought in Chilwell and Reece James for my FPL, and the clean sheet I got
6
for both
points
of them.
each.
Yeah. So, and Ziyech played amazing that night. And
Definitely did, yeah.
Werner also got in a goal playing on the left wing.
He plays
because
everywhere
they played
but
Tammy
strike.
up front.
Left back, right back, center mid,
Yeah.
goalkeeper. I think the third goal was Kurt Zuma's goal, though, wasn't it?
No, the second
Second
goal
goal.
was Zuma.
Second,
Second, yeah. Werner scored the third.
And
Third was Warner.
Pretty good. Sarth, let me ask you this then. Do you consider Chelsea will finish above you this season, considering it's a London club too? And how do you justify their spend, the way they've spent this summer?
I think they've spent some. I mean, they've made some really good signings, of course, like Ziyech, Timo Werner, world-class player. But I think it's going to be pretty close. If you see Lampard's Chelsea and Mikel's Arsenal, I think it's going to be a nail-biting competition. I'm excited for the London derby, especially, and can't wait.
That's a good shot, to be honest. I still feel no wait, you didn't answer my question though. Do you think they're finishing above you? Don't shy away from it.
I don't think so.
You don't think so? So
How-
where do you think they'll finish? Qualify for Europe?
Yeah, fourth,
So you're putting yourself third or second or first maybe.
third.
Third. That's a good shout. Staying on the same topic, I think Mason Mount played pretty darn well today. I mean, yesterday or whenever the game was. He gets a lot of stick for being Lampard's favorite son or love child or whatever the fuck you want to call him, but
even Southgate's favorite love
Southgate's.
child.
but I felt he played well. So the other thing to note in the game was Lampard left a shit ton of holding players out. So he left Kovacic, Jorginho, both of them out to accommodate all his new signings. So there was Werner, Havertz, Ziyech, Mount. Mount was already there. But so do you guys think N'Golo Kante is higher in his priority list compared to those players?
I mean, Kante has to be a higher priority than Jorginho and Kovacic because
Obviously.
Kante has been I don't feel he's like as highly rated as people rate him, but he has the stamina to finish maybe 3 games a week. Also, he has the ability to do that.
Yeah, that's definitely true. I was about to bring up that you're not his biggest fan, but you brought it up yourself. Fair play.
Yeah, I feel he's overrated.
He has
Right.
the cardio. He has the cardio.
Oh boy. Tejas, while we're in the same subject, Timo Werner finally in the goals. Do you think he's going to be a contender for Golden Boot?
Oh, I don't think so. No. I'm sorry. No, I don't see him. Yeah, I'm telling he's going to be one of those strikers that will score when you need him to. That's what it's going to be.
Okay.
But anything is subject to change. If Werner, Ziyech, and Havertz all three form one love triangle, then some fucking 100 goals is they're going to score like some 500 goals or something, dude.
I don't. I beg to differ from Tejas' opinion. I don't think Werner turns up when he has to. I think he turns up against the smaller teams and scores a goal when they're already 2-0 up.
Your team gets some Your team gets some consistency for 2 games, then you speak, man.
Go again.
I can say the same to you, Tejas.
Yeah, I know.
4 games
But
without a win.
I'm gonna reserve my anger for next week. I'm gonna reserve it.
Yes, those of you watching who are Barca fans, will be back with more Barca content this midweek when the Champions League is back. But until then, we need to cover the Premier League games. And boys, the more disappointing results were at the top of the table, where you would find Everton and Aston Villa at the beginning of this week, both of whom have been smacked down. Aston Villa, let's talk about them for a while. It's 2 defeats now. They were losing 4-0, and I had Martinez in my FPL, so God bless me. But they came back to score 3. They showed some fight in it. Wait, so
Like
let
I
me just
said,
ask one second. Just one second. I wanted to put this question to Sarth. Considering that Emi Martinez was at Arsenal and you let him go, do you think it was the right move, or do you think you should have kept him?
I think it was the right move. I think he deserved first team. I think, to be honest, I think he deserves even a better team, maybe like Wolves or something. I think he deserves a much better team than Aston Villa, but he just needs his chances and he needs to prove himself and try and be the number one at Argentina as well. Argentina. I think Romero is the number one. I don't know who it is, but yeah, he's not the number one.
It's about time Argentina got a good goalie from somewhere, man.
I think Emi Martinez can become a really world-class keeper.
Right. I mean, that's definitely a fair shout. He's 27 now. But let's just go to Dave, whose club currently has Romero as their third choice keeper. What do you make of Villa's losses? I think you called them too.
Yeah, I called them out last week saying they're going to lose this week against Southampton. And they did. Southampton scored 4 past them, and in the ending minutes, Villa scored 3, making it 4-3, putting up a fight. Watkins scoring a penalty, Tyrone Mings scoring a header, Grealish scoring from
You're the
outside
6
the box.
points. 6 points from Mings. Yes, something I salvaged from that game. Something I salvaged from that game. Something.
Well, Villa aren't a team, you feel like they're going to finish top 10. You feel that they finish bottom 10, mid-table. And I think they're going to finish there only. I think their run of form was good, but I don't think they have the talent to make it top 10.
I think they just got lucky.
Yeah, I did say that the first few episodes that consistency has to be there. I knew they didn't have that capacity. But
something
is what it is.
Here, though. We're missing something here, though. Last year, when Villa were promoted up to the division, they spent 150 million, somewhat like what Fulham did. The season before that, so they spent 150 million quid, and they stayed in the division by 1 point. This year, they went out and made record-breaking signings. They brought in Ollie Watkins. They've, I think, made that Douglas Luiz deal permanent. and shit like that. So they spent another 50 odd this window. For having spent 200 million quid over 2 windows, getting lucky, I do not think that's a good enough way to say put it. So where would you realistically like to see them finish? Starting with Sarth.
I would like to see them finish like at least a Europa League spot. I mean, that would be amazing for them. I think they really do have the confidence, but that's gonna be hard for them. So I'm just gonna maybe put them like maybe like a 10th, 9th, 8th finish. Not too high.
That's a fair shout, to be honest. I mean, they have a European Cup to their name, or two, which Man City still do not, but that's okay. One day. Oh, boys. The other team which lost tonight, on the weekend, was Everton. Now that's 2 losses in a row for them too. They were missing a few key players, but I want to come to you with this. You predicted them to lift silverware, Can Bale.
Oh,
Do you think-
no.
No way you did that.
No. In my famous words, we move.
No, we stay. Yeah, we want-
I'm honestly disappointed, but the fact that they're missing their key players, I think it's a sign that shows they probably do not have the squad depth to survive. So yeah, I do feel
the players they
a
were
bit
missing-
idiotic for
Yeah.
making such a prediction now.
He jumped the gun. Big
I
man.
jumped the gun. Let's just say that. Yeah.
But the players they were missing were Richarlison, Luca Digne. They dropped
Digne.
Jordan Pickford. Is fucking
why did they
bold to
drop
take.
Yeah,
Pickford.
that was confusing as fuck. Why?
I was so confused when I did that.
They did that because I think he was out of form. So the keeper they got in, I think he was some Swedish keeper, and he made one brilliant save like early on in the game. And in the dying minutes of the game, so Calvert-Lewin scored, and this keeper went to the other box for like a late corner, and he almost headed it in. That would be some way to replace Pickford.
Yeah, but Everton had many of their players missing. They had their fullbacks missing, their wingers missing, their goalkeeper missing. So, and Sigurdsson from one day being on the bench to becoming captain next game week.
Ancelotti tactics.
Yeah.
I think
maybe Everton could pick up their form once they have their players back.
Definitely could actually. There's one thing though that bugs me, which is the fact that the way I think that Liverpool game when they played, they got 1 point at the expense of 6. That's the way I see it, because Richarlison's tackle on Thiago Alcantara, Pickford did some shithousery again, and the James Rodriguez picked up the knock, and it's like a relapse this week, so he's out again. So I feel like they put so much into that game that they're still seeing like the after effects of it.
Yeah, I think Rodriguez should have been rested for that previous game because Ancelotti said he was a doubt for that game and he still played him. So if he had rested him, maybe Rodriguez could have been fit for the last game instead of having so many players out.
Interesting. Saad, do you play FPL?
No, I don't play FPL.
I'm confused whether I should keep James Rodriguez. What are you lads doing?
I'm keeping him on
I
the
never
bench,
had
waiting
him.
for him to come back.
You putting the faith.
Yeah,
I only
Kurt
have
need to
big
remove-
man.
Yeah,
I have big man Calvert-Lewin only. He's the only
Yeah, everyone has DC.
I removed Digne because of the red card.
He cost $6 too, actually.
Trent. Fucking scam Trent. I got him.
Oh,
Oh,
boys,
man.
it's time to transfer him out.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I think we've covered a lot today, a lot of games. Did we miss out on anything, or did we cover it all?
No,
I think you
don't
missed
think
out on
so.
Tottenham's loss.
Antwerp.
Tottenham's
they
lost to Antwerp.
How can I forget that?
How can an Arsenal
Yeah.
fan not bring that up, dude?
Yeah.
Did you watch that game, Sarth?
Yeah, I think I saw I saw the first half. I think, yeah, I saw the first half. That's it.
Mourinho, he was asked after the game about what happened in the game, and he was like, "You guys in London always ask me about why these players aren't playing and those players aren't playing." And I was like, "I put all of those players on the field today, and you saw why I don't play them. Now don't ask me the fucking question
Yeah.
for the next 2-3 months."
He's an absolute meme. He's a
Dude,
meme.
zero fucks
Who
given.
cannot love Mourinho?
Dude, but the
I
way
mean,
he
that-
destroys confidence, dude. Like Dele Alli went from being considered for Man United transfer to fucking almost leaving to PSV Eindhoven and shit, dude. But I feel like with that loss in particular, there's a couple of things that stood out to me. The first was that those players they bought last year, like the ones you saw in the documentary, are all pretty substandard players. That Steven Berger, bro, and that
One.
Gedson Fernandez, and all those players.
Vin- they
Where
brought
are
in
they?
Tangai,
Vinicius also. Carlos Vinicius, I think.
Tangai and Domblai, Tangai.
Dude, that guy is out of breath so many times, man, but he's damn good. I'm gonna give him that.
Yeah.
Yesterday, remember, we were watching the Brighton game. I think it was minute 11, and they had a free kick. And this guy walks up to the ball, and he's gasping. He's gasping for air. His stamina is already run out. Oh, bro, fucking memes, dude. But Sarth, do you think with inconsistencies like this, Spurs are gonna challenge for the Europa League spot? And because we have you with us today, give us your prediction for the Europa League winner and the Premier League winner.
Oh, that's like, okay. I became a, what do you say in Hindi? I think a tantri or something.
Yes, man's an astrologer.
Yeah, astrologer. Yeah. Okay, I'll try and I don't know. With Europa League, it's really unpredictable because teams from the Champions League are going to come in. And last year, Inter Milan came from the Champions League. Really surprising one. So I'm not going to say much about Europa League. And of course, Arsenal will reach the quarterfinals. I don't know about that. I don't know what's going to happen because it depends who we get. But quarterfinals is a fixed spot for Arsenal. And what was the other question? Sorry.
Your Premier League title winners prediction.
I think it's going to be Man City.
Right, I cannot be too unhappy with that. But give us your top four also in that same answer.
Yep. Man City, Liverpool, Arsenal, and Chelsea.
He left out Everton, Tejas. You need to have a look at that.
I think Everton's going to finish in the Europa League spot.
That's a fair shout. That's what. Dude, Arsenal finish outside. They finished like 9th, 10th and still qualify for Europa League. And then they push Spurs into like the qualifier rounds because they won the FA Cup. That was a little mean, to be honest.
Yeah, it was. But I think we deserved it overall. I think Mikel was there in Arsenal for 8 months and he won 2 cups, FA Cup and Community Shield, and that's a big improvement. Major confidence boost, yeah.
Yeah, I think we
needed that.
Podcast. Yeah. The fact that winning a trophy is the hardest thing for a manager and he did it with like 6 months into the job.
Yeah.
Okay, Sarth, I do not know if this will be relevant in a few months or years from now, but when do you think Arsenal are going to lift the Premier League trophy?
Maybe next 2 to 3 years.
2 to 3 years. 2 to 3 years.
Not that far. Not that far. Let me tell you. I think Willian said in an interview that he came to Arsenal because Mikel told him that we will go on and win the Champions League. So if that's what he said. Yeah, he didn't say Premier League. He said we'll go on to win the Champions League. Yeah.
I mean, he said he'll win the Champions League in 3 years. So Willian came. After that, he gave 3 assists in the first game. After that, for the next 3 weeks, he has been AFK.
True. He's not consistent. I think it's his age that's catching up to him. I think, yeah. He's not really consistent.
What do you think is Nicolas Pepe's role at Arsenal with Willian coming in?
Really, really overrated player. But I think I see him at 30 million. That's it. I think 82 was too much for him. And he came from Farmers League, and of course, you can't get 82 million plus. And but I
When you're
still do
Lacazette
think,
from that league.
yeah, but I still think Nicola Pepe is still better than Willian.
Interesting shot, to be honest. I think we've reached the end of the show, but just before we go, because Sarth brought this up early on, I wanted to ask him about Chelsea players moving to Arsenal for the retirement period. And what do you make of that?
I don't think that's true because David Luiz, I think the only reason he left Chelsea was because he had a breakdown with Frank Lampard, and
True.
that's the reason he left, not because he was coming towards the end of his career. And Willian, I think again, Willian got influenced usually by Mikel, and I think he sat at the bench in the FA Cup final, looking at the spirit and motivation that Mikel gives to his players. I think that's one of the reasons he mainly came to Arsenal, and even David Luiz called him a lot of times.
That's a fair point. So you're
Yeah, I
saying
remember
that
Willian saying that if he knew Thiago Silva was coming to Chelsea, he would have stayed at Chelsea.
Yeah, he did
Uh,
say that.
but I still feel
Hey.
like Mikel Arteta has made some good signings. I mean, even if you have players at the end of, say, their prime, I feel they're putting together a better squad than what Arsene Wenger has been for like at least the last 5 years of his reign.
But this thing with Willian, it's a temporary solution. It can't be a permanent solution. The actual permanent solution was supposed to be Pepe, but that is looking unlikely. So
That's true, but I think Arsenal are on the right track. The way Arteta puts a lot of faith in like the youngsters too, Willock and Nketiah. So I think Nketiah is his favorite player. I don't know what you think, Sarth, but I feel like the man's in love with him.
Yeah, he surely is. I think he loves all his youngsters. I think he has a lot of praise about them. He motivates them every day, I think.
I mean, a good way to start your rebuild is from your youngsters. So
True.
he has the thinking capacity.
United can't do
That's
that
good
because
to see in a
Greenwood is
manager.
out partying.
Phil Foden is
with
busy
Phil Foden
chatting
in
up girls.
Iceland.
Oh, boys. Right. I think we've come to the end of the podcast. Thank you for all you guys who have stuck around for so long. If you have, make sure to leave a like on the video. Make sure to get involved in the comments, and you too could be part of the podcast. Subscribe and share the video with your friends. Let them know about this podcast too. Once again, thank you, Sat, for joining us today. It's been an absolute pleasure.
My pleasure. Yeah.
Boys,
was
it's
great.
been good. Yes, definitely. And it's like what, 5:30 for you?
7:05, 7:10 p.m.
Oh.
Yeah.
Right. So man lives in a different time zone altogether. Uh, we'll be back this midweek, covering a lot of Barcelona news. Real Madrid play Inter Milan also. So we'll be up with a lot of good content. Make sure to stay tuned. And that's it from us. Bye bye. Take care.
Peace out.
Bye.